Guys, how are we doing today? How is work? How is life? How is family? And everything in between. I hope this video meets you well. Well, as for me, I'm happy. I'm excited because I have officially wrapped on set. Yay! I'm so happy. I mean, I've been filming for more than 2 months now. Yeah, so I'm thankful to God for keeping me thus far. It hasn't been easy being away from family, but I mean, now the work where would you do? You can't complain much, but say thank you. So yes, my name is Habiba Zokzok, just in case this is your first time here, and I officially welcome you to Acting Tips with Biba. So in case you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time to do so. Don't forget to like and comment and share with your friends, because someone that's following you, someone on your page or on your timeline might need these tips that we are sharing over here. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Today we're talking about self-tape auditions and the do's and don'ts of self-tape auditions. Now before we get into it proper, I would like us to define and explain what self-tape auditions are. Self-tape auditions are pre-recorded videos that are done by actors themselves, where they get to perform a scene or a monologue in front of a camera to submit to a casting director. Yeah, that's what self-tape auditions are. It's just like physical auditions, where you have to go to the venue, you present yourself, you introduce yourself, and you perform your scene or your monologue. But instead of going to the venue of the audition, you can do it in the comfort of your home. Self-tape auditions are actually done in the comfort of your home, where you have your camera and yourself, and you just do what you have to do. So yeah, that's what self-tape auditions are. And the emergence of self-tape auditions, honestly, I can't really say, but I know for a fact that self-tape auditions, came into existence very, very well when COVID struck. Yeah, during the lockdown, where we didn't have time to go out, we didn't have the chance to go out to audition physically. So yeah, that's when self-tape auditions became a thing, and that was when I was like, oh, okay, this can actually work, where you just sit at home and do your thing and you submit it, and the next thing you're getting a call and saying, congratulations, you have been cast for the job. I mean, that feeling it's compared to none, I tell you. So as always, I jot things down because somehow I forget things easily, so I always like to jot things down. So there are advantages and disadvantages of self-tape auditions, and one advantage, I'll say, self-tape auditions are very flexible and convenient. Like I said, it's something you can do at home, and you can do it anytime you want. Of course, there's always a deadline for it, but you can just do it in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. But we all know physical auditions, they have their time, so you have to go there. But self-tape auditions, you can do it anytime you want to do it, as long as you meet the deadline. Okay, another thing about self-tape auditions is that you have the chance to rehearse as much as you want. You have the chance to do as many takes as you want. So if you make a mistake, you can cut and record another video until you get the perfect take. So yeah, that's one thing about self-tape auditions. But there are disadvantages of self-tape auditions, and one disadvantage I'll say is self-tape auditions, the process is kind of slow, because you just submit your video, but you have to wait for the feedback, unlike physical auditions where you go there. Sometimes you are told immediately after your performance, congratulations, you've been cast, or we'll get back to you. Or even if they don't say anything, you can tell that you did well by their facial expressions, right? When you perform your scene or your monologue, you can always tell that, okay, there's hope for me, or you can tell that there's no hope for me. At least you go home feeling that, okay, this is what I did and this is what I'm expecting, right? But for self-tape auditions, I don't know why the pronunciation of self-tape auditions is hard for me. Let me not bite my tongue. But anyway, as for self-tape auditions, you don't get to know or feel anything. You just submit your video in blind faith and hope that you get a call back. So yeah, that's one disadvantage I would say self-tape has. Another disadvantage, I think, is the stress of the technicalities that comes with it. Okay, like the camera work, the light, which I'll talk about. Physical auditions, none of that is your concern. All you have to do is just show up in the room and everything is set up for you. The lights, the cameras, the mic is put on you. But for self-tape auditions, it's your responsibility to get the right lighting, the sound, the backdrop, everything is your responsibility. So it can be quite stressful. But I mean, it is what it is. English, oh, anyhow it comes out, as long as you guys understand what I'm saying. So yeah, there are things we need to consider before recording a self-tape audition. Hey, God help me. There are things you need to consider before recording a self-tape audition. Maybe I should talk slowly. I need to talk because I don't know why I talk too fast. It's a challenge, really. I need to learn how to talk slowly. So there are things you need to consider before making a self-tape audition. And the first thing here is the camera, right? You need a camera to make a self-tape audition. It could be a professional camera, or it could be the camera from your phone, right? It could be any kind of camera, as long as the camera is clear and is good enough to make that video. Another thing to consider is proper lighting. You need lighting to make your video to be clear and seen. For example, I'm not using any technical light to make this video. I'm using the sun. I always use the sun actually because I don't have it lighting, but that is going to change very soon because, come on, I'm a serious actor. We need professional equipment to make our jobs easier. So yeah, I'm going to get that as soon as possible. But for now, I always use the sun as my lighting, as you can see. So if you don't have access to sunlight, which is a natural light, you need to get lights, okay? You also need your audio to be clear. So you need microphones. I don't have microphones too. I'm working on that also, okay? But you need microphones, those ones that they pin here. Yeah, you need that type. You also need a tripod. There's no tripod. In fact, I don't have anything. The only thing I have here is my camera. And I don't want to say I'm ashamed, but I mean, it is what it is, okay? We are going to get all these things gradually, but you need a tripod so that you can place your phone properly. If you don't have a tripod, if you can't afford a tripod, make sure you put your phone in a place that the phone won't tilt or bend. Like now, this my phone is by the window, so there's a way I place it so it's not bending, it's not shaking, it's very stable. So if you don't have a tripod, just make sure your phone is placed make sure your phone is placed where it won't fall or it won't shake. So yeah, another thing you need to make a self-tape audition is a clear background. Not like this one. This one is not clear. As you can see, there's a door and there's a curtain and there's a wall. There are three things that are distracting here. But to make a self-tape audition, you need a plain background. So when I want to make I've made self-tape auditions in this room, I had to go against the wall. It was just plain white. So if you want to make a self-tape audition, you need a plain background, okay? And it's always advisable to go for a neutral color. It could be black, it could be gray, something that is not too distracting, but make sure it's plain. It could be a curtain, or you could just get a plain material to just put, or if it's your wall, fine, as long as it's plain, something that doesn't distract, please feel free to use it. Another one to consider is dress appropriately. Yeah, when you're making a self-tape audition, you wouldn't want to wear clothes that will distract the casting director. You wouldn't want to wear clothes that have signs or writings that when the casting director is watching you, before you know, he's trying to read what is written on your shirt or figure out what is. No, even this dress that I'm wearing, if I'm making a self-tape audition, I don't think I want to wear it. I always prefer wearing black t-shirts, okay? Something that will not distract, something that will make them focus on your performance, because that's what is important at that moment. Not your earrings, not your makeup, not your hair. Yes, you have to be dressed properly. You have to be modest. I'm not saying you should be scattered. No, make sure your hair is neat, your face is done. If you want to wear makeup, but let it be very light, okay? Don't wear something that will alter your look, that will make you look like a different person. Just wear something that will make you look like you, all right? Then another one is to focus on your performance. And how do you focus on your performance? You have to know the script. You have to know the scene. You have to understand what is happening in the scene. Sometimes self-tape auditions can come in two ways. It could come in a way that is a monologue you're performing, or it could be a dialogue. Now, a dialogue is when you have two persons in a scene. And for self-tape auditions, the reader is always off camera. The reader doesn't have to be in camera because you are the one they are auditioning for. So only you should be in camera, only you should be in shot. The person you're reading with can be off camera, but that person should not be too far off that will make you have to turn like this to talk to the person, or turn like this, because once you turn or you turn like this, they don't get to see your face. So here's what I was taught, okay? If you have to read with someone, if it's a dialogue, make sure that the person you're reading with is here, okay? Just immediately where your phone is so that you can look at the person. I don't know, can you see my eyes? Yes, so that you look at the person this way. That way you're talking to the person, but the person that is watching you can still see your eyes, because your eyes are very important. It is the eyes that convey the messages in your material, in your script. To tell your story, they need to see your eyes. So it's important that your eyes are facing the camera, even if they're not looking at the camera, even if they are looking at the person you're reading with. Make sure that they can see your eyes. So if it's either the person is here, that's by this side, or by the other side. That's either you look at the person this way or you look at that way, but make sure you don't turn the other way to talk to the person, or you turn like this. I've seen so many videos. I mean, that first post I put up where I asked people to send videos, oh my god, I got some videos. There was one particular video, the camera was down. I'm not even lying. Like, the camera was on, it wasn't on the floor, but I think it was lower than where she was, and she was up here. So the camera was like giving, I don't know how to explain it, but I wasn't seeing her eyes, which I needed to see. I mean, I could see every other part of her body, which is not really necessary, because when you're acting, they need to see your eyes, they need to see your facial expressions. So the camera was down. Some people will also keep cameras. You need to keep the camera. You see the way this camera is, that is how it should be. Forget about the background, because the background is not good for a monologue. It always has to be a plain background, okay? But the way this camera is, the way my head, you see how it is. Yes, another thing, let me not forget, if you want to make your monologue, make sure your monologue, your camera is horizontally, not vertical. This is vertical, right? This is vertical and this is horizontal. So make sure you place your camera horizontally. That is this way, okay? It's always advised that way. I mean, placing it like this, I don't know what they have against placing it like that. I think when you turn it horizontally, they get to see you properly. Like now, you see my arms are cut off somehow. If I come too close, it will be worse. But if I go back, so I think when you turn it horizontally, they get to see you properly, because usually the self-tape audition, you need to be seen like from your head down to your waist, except the directive from the casting director says they want to see your whole body, and then you can make sure they see your whole body. But if no directions are given like that, you can just make it from your head to your waist. Make sure there's headroom. This one, the headroom is a lot. Doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be something like this. Yeah, you see the headroom has reduced. So, but remember, it should be horizontally, not vertical like this video. And make sure you're in front of the camera. So like I said, make sure that your reader is very close to you. That's close to the camera, either by your right or your left. Make sure they don't go far away, so that you don't have to turn this way or this way, so that you are focused on the camera. Okay, sorry, I need to be looking at the things that I've jotted down. So yeah, and while you're doing your self-tape auditions, remember not to overdo anything you're doing, okay? Don't exaggerate your emotions. Don't overdo your expressions. Just keep it simple. Let them see what you're doing. Don't go, because once you do like this, they will not see the eye that they're trying to see. They won't see the facial expression. So make sure whatever you're doing, your hands are not so busy. You are not shouting. You need to be clear. And don't forget, you should be louder than the reader. Okay? Don't allow the reader to be louder than you, because it's not the reader that is auditioning for the role. You are the one auditioning for the role. Yes, the reader should be audible enough for us to hear him, even if we don't hear him as much, but we need to hear you more than we hear your reader, because there are videos that I've seen that the person that is reading with them, they are louder than them. You understand? So you need to be louder than the person that you're reading with. Eye lines, I've spoken about eye lines. Make sure you're looking this way or that way, not this way or this way. Okay, yeah, all right, so let's go back again from the beginning. If you want to make, I've mentioned the things you need, right? I've mentioned camera, light, sound, backdrop, your dressing. Those are the things you need to make your self-tape audition. Now, these are the things you need to do before, while you want, no, not while or before. English is not my language, you guys. Look, I beg. Pardon me. But these are the things you need to do when you're about to do a self-tape audition. The first thing you need to do is slate, right? Once you have gotten every other thing that I've mentioned, that is your camera, your light, and everything I've talked about. Once that is all done, these are the things you do. You slate. Now, what is slate? Slating is introducing yourself. Now, You can slate according to what has been given to you, because there are some casting directors that will tell you this is what should be included in your slate. They can say maybe your name, where you're from, your height, your complexion, any other thing, your number, just your phone number, or any other thing. But if no direction was given, you can just say your name, your age, and your height. Then when you're sending your video, you can include other information handwritten, okay? But in slating, your name is the most important thing in slating. They need to know your name. And remember when I was talking about physical auditions, slating has its own tricks. You need to slate properly. Don't think, oh, because I'm slating, my acting has not started, so it doesn't matter what I do in my slate. Since maybe they want to see if I'm fit for this character, let me just say my name anyhow. Then when I'm about to get into character, I'll now do my best. Nope. In fact, they start casting you immediately you start slating, because that's an opportunity to see your personality. So when you're slating, you need to be pleasant. Forget about your sorrows, your problems at home. You are looking for a job, right? Forget about your problems. You have to be pleasant. Okay, don't go and say, my name is this. You have to be pleasant. Hello, my name is Habiba Zoksok. I am blah, 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 blah age. I am this height and all of that. Be pleasant. Let them see your personality. Be bubbly. Then once you're done with all of that, you take 3 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, you pause for 3 to 5 seconds before you now get into character. Don't go, hello, my name is Habiba Zoksok. I am 35 years old and here is my monologue. So yesterday, I was talking about, you don't go that way. This is how you do it. Hello, my name is Habiba Zoksok. I'm 35 years old and this is my monologue. I am not 35 years old, by the way. Oh, I forgot for a second that I'm not 35 years old. But anyway, I'm sorry, I broke up. Okay, let's go. Hello, my name is Habiba Zoksok. I'm 35 years old and this is my monologue. Yesterday, you see the way I took 5 seconds before I now broke into character, right? They saw who I am. They saw who Habiba is before. They see who Habiba is. Hey, H factor. I reject you. No. They see who Habiba is, right? Then 3 to 5 seconds later, they get to see the character. It's really, really important. Also, at the end of your monologue, once you're done with your lines and the scene, don't just finish off and break off the character and go, thank you very much. No. Make sure that the character linger as long as possible. Okay? Don't just break off from character. Don't just come out of character and say thank you and cut. No. Let the character linger. Be in character for the way it took you like 3 to 5 seconds to get into character. Let it take you about 3 to 5 seconds also to come out of character. Okay? I'll show you an example. So let's say the monologue, the last scene, like the Barbie monologue, the last line is, and if for you as a doll, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the last line is, I don't know. So let's say the last line of my monologue is, I don't know. Here's how you should end it. I don't know. Being cut. You see the way I lingered. I mean, I don't know is very short. Let me do something else. Okay. I really don't like how they're treating me. I want to leave this house today. I want to leave today. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's an example. Now, contrary to that, if you do what I'm about to do now, that is, you are breaking off from your character too soon. This is how you break off from your character too soon if you do this. I want to leave this house today. I don't want to stay another day in this house. I want to leave today. Thank you very much. There you go. No, you need to leave a lasting impression. So make sure you linger as much as you can. Is linger the word? Hey God. I don't know if linger is the word, but you get what I'm saying. Make sure you stay in character for as long as you can before you break it off. And when you break it off and you cut, before you submit your video, make sure you edit that part that you are cutting. They don't have to see that you cut the camera. That's why it's always advisable to linger for as much as you can, so that when you cut it, at least they can still see you in character at the end of the video. But if you cut it very soon and you go thank you and you cut it, how do you want to edit it? Do you understand? So make sure you linger as much as you can. Now, wow, I really thought this would be easy, but it's not, because you know, talking is not really my forte. It's not really something I'm very good at, like talking for so long. But okay, like I said, wait 3 seconds before going to character. Become the character. Speak clearly. Keep it short and simple. It's really important to keep it short and simple. That's why most monologues, when you see that they're asking for monologues, submission of monologues, they always say 1 minute monologue, because the truth is, in 1 minute they can tell if you're a good actor or you're not a good actor. They don't need 2 minutes or 3 minutes, except they need you to, maybe it's the scene of the project they are working on, like the film or the TV series, whatever it is, and they want you to audition for that character, and for that scene it's about 2 minutes, and they tell you that okay, this is the scene they want you to make a self-tape audition on to submit. But if a script wasn't given to you and they say submit a monologue, a self-tape audition, it's always best to keep it 1 minute, because in 1 minute you're keeping it short, you're keeping it simple, you're keeping it concise, and that way they can see you. You have enough time to make an impression. In fact, my coach always says in the first 10 seconds, you're already going to give it away, whether you are good or not. You don't even need 1 minute, but of course, 1 minute is long enough to tell a story. But the first 10 seconds are very important, okay? Immediately you slate. Once you have done that 3 to 5 seconds and you start your monologue, always start strong, because some of them don't have that time to even watch you for 1 minute. Trust me, they don't have that time. So you need to start strong, put your best foot forward. Don't say you are saving the best for the last seconds, like in the 1 minute you are saying, start strong. I'm not saying you should shout or you should, just give it your best. Start well. Convince them immediately you start talking, immediately your mouth opens. Convince them that this is the character. Convince them that they are no longer seeing the person that's later that introduced him or herself. They are seeing the character. Okay? So, yeah, end properly, end in character, not in the person. Don't end in your personality. Yeah, I forgot to add that. That way, it will help you linger more. It will help you stay in character for as long as you can. Don't end with saying thank you, because they are going to come back to seeing you. And it's always best they see the character at the end. Let them not even see you again, because you've already introduced yourself. So they've seen you, but let them see the character. Like, let the character end the monologue, not you ending the monologue. Then don't forget to edit and submit on time. Now, when I say edit, I don't mean, because the way I was trained, we were trained to make our monologue smooth. Like, we don't cut. Even the slate, when you say your name, you don't cut immediately. 3-5 seconds you start acting. But I've seen videos where they slate and they cut and they start again with the acting. So it's like the slating is like in 1 take, then the second take is the monologue itself. Yeah, auditions are like that. But I think it's better when you do it 1 take, when you slate and immediately you get into character. I mean, it will challenge you as an actor. You even like the way it flows, instead of, because it won't challenge you as much if you slate and you cut it and you now start acting. It won't really challenge you, because the idea is to get into character. So when you say your name and you make that pause and get into character, I mean, it's going to impress even you yourself. You will feel it. You say, they act though. I mean, see the way I just switched from being happy back to this character. So it's always best to do it that way. Yeah. Then what else? I think I've pretty much covered everything. Yeah, remember, this is just basic tips. It's not everything. It's just basic tips, basic acting tips with Biba. So that's all you need to know about self-tape auditions from here. But don't forget to make your researches. You can go online. There are lots of YouTube videos that are talking about self-tape auditions. Like, there are many. Of course, you're going to hear most of the things I've already said, but there are some that you might hear something that I didn't even mention. So it's always best to go online to learn more, read books. Like I always say, it's not everything that I'll talk about. I'll just give you guys the basics, because even me, as I am talking to you, I am still learning. I don't know everything as an actor. Whatever I share on this page is what I know, but there's always more to learn. So please feel free to always go online to read more. So that's it about self-tape auditions. If there's anything I didn't mention and you know it, please feel free to comment, because we are all learning. I'll be glad to learn something from you. Okay, thank you so much for staying with me and watching and listening to Acting Tips with Biba. If you haven't subscribed to my page, please subscribe. Tell your friends to tell your friends to tell your friends. Comment, like, let's engage. Okay, let's talk to each other. Say something to me, let me say something to you too. Okay, thank you so much once again, and God bless you. See you guys again hopefully in 2 weeks time.